One of the things I've realized in my life since I've grown up a little bit, I'm 25 years old, is that we have this expectation to have life figured out as if we'll ever have life figured out. Like I've realized you never have it figured out. I've talked to so many adults, so many older people, young people, all types of people. Nobody ever has it figured out. And this hit me a lot. Maybe like a month or two ago, I was at my cousin's graduation party, and I was kind of giving him advice. He's graduating high school. I'm his big cousin, and he's like, Jamar, I just, I want to wait to have fun until I figure everything out. And he said this, and it made me pause. So I'm like, yo, well, in that case, then you're just never gonna have fun because you're gonna be constantly figuring it out. One of the things I think we have to realize as human beings is that we're constantly going to be trying to figure things out. We're going to be constantly having problems. There's never a point in your life, I don't care how much money you have, the type of relationships you have, we all will always have problems, okay? There's always a problem in life. That's just what life is. We'll never avoid it. And I think our minds are kind of like programmed to always find a problem and to always be solving a problem. So even when there aren't any problems per se, we're like, our mind is gonna find it. Like I've found myself in points where I'm actually in good places, and I'll be like thinking like I have anxiety or something. I'm like, what is it even about? There's nothing even. But there's always something though. There's literally always something. And I think that has to do with our brain, but just how life is set up. And I think what we have to realize is in life when we're going through these different things, you still got to be present in the moment, okay? And one of the things I have noted for me is that our mind is programmed to always have a problem, but we can't fight the problems. We have to embrace the problems, okay? I'm going to write that down. Don't fight it. Embrace. And the key with this is one, because when you embrace it, you actually grow from it. You're actually not expecting anything from it, and you get the natural growth from it, okay? When we're trying to fight these problems, we're acting like as if the problems aren't supposed to be happening. This isn't like you're going through something and you want it so bad to go away and you're fighting it, but that's not how you overcome it. Or maybe you're pushing it away, or whatever it may be, you want to act like it's not there. We fight our problems when in reality, our problems are actually for us, not, I like to say, it was never why me, it was always for me. So all my problems I've had in my life now up to this point, obviously before I wasn't a perfect human being, but before I used to always say like, why is this happening to me? But now it's just like, this is for me. And what happened was when I went from, and I'll write that down too, when I went from life changed, let me write this down. Life changed when I went from why me to for me. And this is easy to say when you're in a good place in life, but when you're at rock bottom and stuff is happening and you have the ability to say somehow, some way, this is for me. Now the key with this, okay, is being able to say, okay, whatever's happening to me, I'm not gonna know the reason for it yet, but I know in the future it'll pan out, okay? But I don't want to get too off subject with everything. But the key with all this that I really want you to think about is to be present, because in this moment that you may be saying, why me? In the future, let's say you overcome it, right? Let's say you get through whatever you're going through. It's a breakup, it's not getting a job, whatever it may be. Whatever you're going through right now in your life, what you have to do is be present enough to see the full perspective. Okay? In this moment, you're dealing with like, I want my life to be figured out. I have these, whatever it may be. There's something you have right now that in the future you will not have, but you're so fixated on the one thing you don't have or the one problem you're facing that you're not being thankful for something you have right now. And so let's say we get to the point, we fast forward to when things are worked out with this problem you're dealing with or something you want, whatever it may be. You figured out, like, whatever we want to call it. You get through this. There will be something in the future that you will not have anymore. And you will then cause that to be your new problem. And there's a constant problem. And instead, the real problem isn't the problems. The problem is that you're not being grateful and present. That's the real problem. If I had to say there's a problem we should actually be wanting to figure out, it's to be present and to be thankful, okay? Because there's always going to be something you don't have. 100%. There's always going to be something you don't have. There's always going to be something you're like, why is this happening to me? There's always going to be something you're like, man, I wish I had this. There's always going to be that, bro. You can't ever avoid like not having something. Like, that's what the world is. All of us don't have things. All of us are always lacking in something. All of us are always like, man, I wish I had this. You know what I'm saying? We're always comparing ourselves, right? But what we have to realize is, even if we're comparing ourselves to something we truly want and that we will get in the future, there's something we're not thinking about right now that we have, that we won't have in the future, that we're going to be super sad about. And so we spent all this time chasing and sacrificed something we didn't even think about, and we lost something that was more valuable. A lot of us, we chase money, and then eventually we lose relationships. A lot of us, we chase one relationship and miss out on other relationships. A lot of it, life is about balancing, but it all comes back to having a sense of gratitude. One of the things all of us should be doing if we ever want to reach the maximum potential isn't to solve problems, okay? Peace, hold on. Peace, dang it, I hate when it does this when I first. Peace doesn't come from solving problems. Okay? It doesn't. All right? Peace does not come from solving problems. Let me see if this is, yeah, it's better now. It doesn't come from somewhere. Peace comes from gratitude. In every sector of your life, there is an opportunity for gratitude. But most of us, and typically, we're always thinking about the problems we have and how do we get over it. And it's cool. Like, we should always be trying to solve our problems. That's what a human being does. But to balance and to give yourself any peace is to understand there's always going to be problems. But there's also always something to be thankful for. And if you can always program your mind to say, okay, that's something, but there's also this. And then the next step is being able to say, I have gratitude in the problems. I have that, and that's what I was kind of getting ahead when I was doing the why me for me thing. When you reach the level of gratitude, not just for, okay, maybe this is bad, but what else do I have? But then you start to say, okay, I'm even thankful for the problems. One thing that's happened in my life is what I've realized is that the fact that I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, the fact that I dealt with different health problems. I was diagnosed with cancer at 19. I was broken up with, cheated with. I was cheated on. I've dealt with all these challenges, okay? And what I've realized is all those things made me a better person. All those things allowed me to make videos on YouTube that connected with people. All those things allowed me to become an inspirational speaker that's spoken in over 250 schools all across the country and connecting with students and having all this impact because I went through those things and became who I was meant to become and gave me perspective. Gratitude is the key with all of this. And when you have gratitude, you'll start to maximize on the moment. You'll start to see that the one thing we do have is time, and we don't know how much we'll have. And so instead of always be solving problems, have fun. Go to the party. Ask the girl out. Ask the guy out. Go and play video games. I'm never going to be the motivational speaker that tells you to always be grinding. That is stupid. We get life, and what do we do with it? We should be following our heart. Sometimes that means to be chasing your dreams and grinding, and sometimes that means to be doing something stupid. All of it is a balancing act, and we need to do that. If you wait till you have your goals, all your problems figured out and solved, you will never have the opportunity to have fun because you're waiting on something to happen that'll never happen. You'll never have everything figured out. I'm sorry, newsflash. You'll never have anything figured out. Here's my point, because some of you may be saying, well, Jamar, like, I've seen other people have it all figured out. I see this guy on Instagram. He has all these followers. He goes to Paris, and he goes to, you know what I'm saying? He goes to San Antonio, Greece. I don't know if that's how you spell it, but he has all these things, right? How I think it is possible. You're lying. One thing you have to realize is all these people may look like they have it figured out, but it doesn't mean they have it figured out, okay? Let me put it on here. Most people who have life, quote unquote, figured out are just good actors. Okay. Anybody that claims to have it all figured out, anyone that social media looks perfect, anyone that's always happy, they're good actors, and they're very good at hiding the full realities. That's okay. We post our highlights on social media. Why would you post your bad highlights? I get it. But at the end of the day, you don't know. And here's the one thing that blew my mind once I finally came up with this. The one thing we all don't know is how somebody is mentally when they're alone in the dark by themselves. We can never know what somebody's thinking in that moment. That's the moment somebody knows if they're at peace. A lot of people you may know have a bunch of money. They may have maybe going to all the parties. They may have a bunch of cool stuff. But when it's time to close their eyes with no sounds, they can't even go to sleep because their mind is filled with all these memories of them doing things against their morals, filled with all these things of not having true relationships in their life. They're lonely, whatever it may be. All these people are just good actors. I'm not acting. I promise you. I have a lot of cool stuff in my life, but life sucks. I cry sometimes. People reject me. I deal with those things. It sucks, okay? I take losses, okay? I lose money. I spend money on TikTok shop doing dumb stuff, okay? I'm not perfect, okay? I don't have life figured out. The greatest thing that will happen to you in life, if you want to really have it figured out, is to realize figuring out is accepting the fact that you will always be lost. That's the number one thing that's changed my life. It's instead of trying to have life figured out, I still progress, but I realize I'll always be lost and enjoy the lostness and constantly get surprised, okay? And so the key to having life figured out, let's see if I can erase this. I've realized my eraser isn't it make it dirty nowadays. Why did it do that? I got to figure out how to make this better. But the key to be able to really, make the best progress, the progress meant for you, and this is key. The thing about life is it's a never-ending puzzle. It's an exploration. You're constantly going. The key to really get where you're supposed to go is to, instead of stop trying to figure it out, figure life out, and enjoy being lost. Okay, that's the key. Enjoy being lost, because life is full of all these like misdirections, things you would have never expect to happen. That's what life is, okay? Life is about being lost. Life is about being surprised. I can't tell you the amount of things that just happened. I'm like, no way I saw that person. No way this happened. When you try to have life figured out, you're missing out on things that could happen, unlimited possibilities, but you're forcing this one pathway. Oh, I need to have a job at this time. I need to be married at this time. Bro, you're forcing stuff and you end up with stuff you're not even meant for because you need it to fit into this theory that ain't even real, bro. There's no cookie cutter way for how you're supposed to live life. The key is just letting this thing right here, your heart, take you wherever it's supposed to go, and risking and going for things that other people don't agree with. And that's how you get to a life you're meant to live. I'm here living a life that I'm meant to live. Why? Because I followed my intuition, because I quit jobs, because I asked girls out that I thought were out of my league. I did all these things because I realized no matter which way I go, there will always be problems. I'll never have it figured out. A lot of us make decisions thinking, okay, if we go this way, there'll be less problems, it'll be safer. But what I've realized is no matter which way you go, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be confusing. It's going to suck. You're not going to understand it. But at least you go down the path that you actually want to go on. There's a reason why your intuition is taking you that way. Have fun. Go to that party if you have the intuition. Go ask that girl out. Whatever it may be, just follow your intuition and have fun in life. Do not wait to have things figured out. Do not wait for things to be perfect, because guess what? They'll never be perfect. But the fact of it never being perfect gives you something to do every single day. Enjoy being lost. Don't take this time in your life, whatever it is, if you're 20, 21, 35, whatever it may be, don't take it as a time to have your life figured out. You'll never have it figured out. The person that's telling you to have it figured out doesn't have it figured out. I'm going to end the video on that. The person that's telling you to have it figured out doesn't have it figured out, okay? If you want more videos to become the best version of yourself, to maybe find your passion or make a living doing what you love to do, watch some more of my videos that I got right here. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.